You've probably seen countless sealants advertised as the ultimate solution to protect wood. Waterproof, rot-resistant, insect-proof. But what if I told you that for over 1,000 years, Vikings had a method that outperformed many of today's modern products? Their secret wasn't found in a laboratory or on a store shelf. It was rooted in deep observation, experimentation, and practical knowledge of nature. By the end of this guide, you'll understand exactly how Vikings preserved their wooden longhouses, ships, and everyday tools, and how you can apply the same principles to make your wood last decades longer, without relying on synthetic chemicals. The reason modern sealants often fail is what Vikings knew intuitively. Wood is a living material. It absorbs moisture, expands, contracts, and becomes a playground for fungi and insects. Modern sealants can offer temporary protection, but they eventually crack, peel, or wear away, leaving wood vulnerable. The Vikings, however, didn't just coat the surface. They understood how to fundamentally change the wood's interaction with the environment. By combining natural treatments, fire and resin, they created wood that resisted water and decay while maintaining structural integrity. Their approach was holistic, not just a surface fix, but a long-term solution that worked at the fiber level. How Vikings treated wood to survive centuries of weather. The process began with careful selection and seasoning of timber. Vikings favored dense, resin-rich species like oak, pine and larch, which naturally resisted moisture and pests. Once felled, logs were air-dried for months to reduce internal moisture while avoiding cracks. This step alone already increased durability. Next came a subtle but powerful technique: surface charring. By lightly burning the outer layer of the wood, the Vikings created a natural barrier against moisture and fungi. The heat carbonized the surface, forming a shield that was remarkably resilient against both water and insect attack. Unlike modern sealants that eventually peel, this charred layer became an integral part of the wood itself, providing long-lasting protection without altering its structural strength. After charring, the Vikings applied natural oils, resins, or animal fats to the wood. Pine tar was particularly common, sometimes combined with linseed oil or even fish oil. These substances penetrated the wood fibers, sealing them from water and further enhancing resistance to decay. The result was wood that could survive harsh northern winters, pounding rain, and constant exposure to moisture for decades. Even now, you can apply these techniques to modern projects. Start with dense, resin-rich wood like oak, pine or cedar, and let it air dry thoroughly for several months. Elevate the wood during drying to avoid contact with the ground, which accelerates rot. Once dry, lightly char the surface using a controlled flame or blowtorch, just enough to blacken the exterior layer without burning it. This carbonized surface is your first line of defense. Next, rub natural oils or resins into the wood. Pine tar, linseed oil, or melted beeswax all work well. Make sure the substance really penetrates deeply. And, repeat the application every so often for any surfaces that are exposed to the elements. This treatment, it works wonders for outdoor furniture, decking, posts, fencing, log cabins, and even wooden boats. Survivalists and off-grid builders Yeah, they also use these very same principles to preserve wood, especially where modern sealants just aren't available or, honestly, all that practical. The steps are honestly quite simple, but the results are really profound. You get wood that resists rot, water and pests far better than most synthetic coatings out there. For the Vikings, you see, long-lasting wood wasn't a luxury, it was an absolute necessity. Their ships had to withstand violent storms out on the North Sea. Their homes needed to endure those damp winters, and well, their tools simply had to last for decades. Replacing posts, beams, or ships, that was costly, both in labour and resources, so they, perfected methods to extend the life of their timber. Charring, oiling and resin treatment allowed them to build resilient settlements that could survive generations, even in the harshest climates. This approach also demonstrates an intimate understanding of nature. Vikings observed which woods resisted decay, experimented with fire and natural oils, and codified a method that combined mechanical durability with chemical protection from nature itself. It wasn't guesswork, it was careful observation and iterative improvement. Today, historians, reenactors and woodworkers are rediscovering Viking wood treatment methods. Projects that follow these principles, like log cabins, outdoor furniture and wooden ships, last far longer than untreated or chemically coated wood. Even in modern survivalist contexts, understanding how to treat wood without synthetic chemicals is just invaluable, especially in those remote areas where replacements are really hard to come by. By using the Vikings approach, you're actually combining historical insight with practical utility, and that creates structures which are both authentic and enduring. The lesson here is clear. Surface coatings alone are simply not enough. Wood must be treated at the fibre level, protected by heat and reinforced with natural oils and resins. The Vikings discovered this centuries ago, and honestly, their methods remain just as effective today as they were back then. Their wisdom, it teaches us to work with natural materials, not against them. And that creates durability, which lasts far longer than any modern quick fix. If you found this guide valuable, do consider subscribing to Echoes of Valor for more deep dives into forgotten techniques and ancient knowledge. And, share this video with fellow history enthusiasts, reenactors and survivalists, so these remarkable methods continue to inspire and protect. History has lessons that still stand strong, just like the wood the Vikings built to endure 1,000 storms.